I'm recording this video on a Canon R6 with a 35mm RF lens. I have air conditioning going in the background that I can hear quite well. And I don't know if you can hear it. If you can't, that's awesome. I'm recording on the Go 2. Is that what that's called? Wireless Go 2. Comes with two transmitter and the one that goes on top of your camera. So basically you can record two people at the same time. And I'm wondering how the audio sounds. I'm also recording with their microphone. I'm using the RØDE microphone, which was around $80. Now this setup is pretty amazing if this all works the way I want. But instead of giving you boring technical jargon and everything, a lot of YouTubers are making that, I'm going to tell you a story about how I ordered this and what happened. Literally, this product took over a month and a half to come in. I mean, in today's standards, you order from Amazon, you have the product in 2 days, right? But it took a month and a half to get. And this started off on my journey wanting something lightweight, wireless for a microphone. And it apparently sounds the best out of all of them out there, unless you go and start spending $1,000. So I originally first ordered this from Mike's Camera. It was on there for $300 like everywhere else. This is my fault. I did not pay attention to where it said when it comes in. They didn't have it in stock. So I sent them an email after 3 days saying, why haven't you shipped this yet? Right? And they said, well, we don't have it yet. And I went, oh, Lord, I didn't read the website properly. So I thought, well, I'll wait a week. So I waited a week, still nothing. Yet, B&H had it in, Amazon had it in, and I'm like, well, I don't want to wait any longer. So I said, dude, can you refund my money? It's taking too long for you guys to get this in. He said, sure, no problem. Well, Mike's refunded my money within 2 hours. And I thought, wow, that was pretty cool of them. Except I noticed that they sent it in by e-check. Problem with e-check is when you refund by e-check and PayPal, you can wait up to 7 days before you get your money. And I did. I waited 7 days for the whole process to take place when I got my $300 back. So that's going on 2 weeks now. Okay, finally got my money. Thought, okay, we'll pop over to Amazon because they're the quickest shipper. I ordered it. It was a week to come in, not 2 days. Well, it made it as far as this one city 2 hours away from me and it stopped. It just kept saying in transit, in transit. I waited a couple days and I was like, something's wrong. So I called FedEx and FedEx informed me there was nothing in the package. This was not in the package. It was air they were sending me. So they did not ship it to me. They shipped it back. Contacted Amazon and they immediately gave me my refund quickly. I had it within 4 hours. No e-check, no waiting, no nothing. That was pretty much another week. So you figure that was 3 weeks now that I'd been waiting. All right. I'm going to B&H now. So I go to B&H and I buy it. Ships, the next day. I'm like, oh, finally, somebody knows what they're doing. Gets to my house. It took about 4 days. And I'm like, okay. We start hooking it all up. And you figure we're going into about 4 weeks now. And give or take a day. Hook it all up and find out one of the transmitters wasn't working. I couldn't upgrade it. It wouldn't read. The app wasn't reading it. I don't know what was wrong with it. So at this time, I contacted this company, Go2 Wireless RØDE, which is apparently out of Australia. I sent them a long email on everything I'd gone through to order this product. I thought, geez, can they just mail me the one transmitter instead of sending the whole thing back to B&H? They never got back to me. I waited 3 days. They never got back to me. Never, hey, we're sorry to hear that. They totally ignored my email. It did not exist. So I'm not impressed by that. Contacted B&H. They said, pack it up, send it back to us, and we'll do an MRA on it. Okay. because their MRA form on their website wasn't working no matter if I did it in Google or Chrome. I don't know if they've got that fixed now. So that took another week to send it back there, for them to check it out, take everything out of the box, make sure I didn't rip them off, then send me a new one. This one works. Everything upgraded. As you can see, hopefully it sounds good. Like I said, fan in the background with the air conditioner going. And this is everything that went on. It literally took me pretty much 6 weeks to get this. I've never seen anything like this in my life, what I went through to order this. And with the email I sent to RØDE, I'm not impressed. So I do know that you can't buy these items separately, like if a transmitter breaks or, you know, the main unit breaks, you can't buy them separately. I looked all over the website. It doesn't, maybe it will later, but right now, you can't. Now the warranty on this, I don't know if it's a year, 2 years or something like that. I did see another YouTuber. He's quite popular. He made a couple videos on this. And he said he contacted them. And they said the battery should last well over 10 years. And if you have it that long, we'll talk about it then. Talk about it then, you can't even get a hold of him. He got a hold of him. So literally, if this thing breaks after warranty, you're not buying one unit. You're literally throwing all 3 in the garbage and you're going to buy a whole brand new set if you like them. Now, when I'm feeling this, and you'll see it here, because I'm using the other 2, it's very light. I mean, there ain't much to this at all. And, which is nice. You can put this on top of a GoPro or whatever you got, and you're off and running. Now, I did buy a separate case. Probably a lot of you guys that have the RØDE don't know that case is out there. I'm sure you're going to see more. I'll tell you, the Chinese don't waste any time. You couldn't find a case on the RØDE a week ago. And all of a sudden, it popped up at Amazon. And then it was like, it's going to take you a week and a half to get it because they hadn't shipped it from China over to here yet. But when I ordered it, it only took 3 days, and then all of a sudden they were shipping it. So that's nice. So I guess I'll be somewhat delicate with this. I don't think I'll bang it around too much. That's why I bought its own case and put all the wires, and they all fit in there pretty good to use if I use my GoPro or I use my Canon R6. I mean, at least it gives me an option for a wireless setup. And $300, I hate to say it, but it is affordable. To a lot of guys that aren't into this, they'll probably say, oh my God, $300 a lot of money. When it comes to wireless microphone, it's not cheap. And there is a delay. I'm not sure if we're going to see it with me talking, because the longer I talk, the more that delay will be there. It's like 3 seconds between me and the camera. So it's possible I could look like a kung fu movie after, to where you see my lips moving, but the voice is catching up or whatever. And that's a possibility too. And that's with every wireless. This one has the least. So you have to consider that when you're taking video. If your video is very long, then you're going to have to think about, you know, turn away from the camera, stop, then start record again, to know what you're working with your equipment. You have to understand these are tools, no different than a hammer, a pair of pliers, or whatever you're using. Your camera's a tool. If you start going wireless with your microphone, that's a tool. And you have to understand your limitation, your lens, your lighting. Everything starts to become a tool, and how you orchestrate this. And this is my very, very first video I'm making with this RØDE 2. And I'm really curious how this is going to sound, because I've removed the wire out of my setup here, which is nice. And hopefully it goes as good as I've seen in the other videos. It's hard because a lot of people make videos because they got it for free. I did not get it for free. I bought this with my own money, guys. So if I don't like this shit, I'm going to tell you. And most people get it for free, and then they tell you about all the higher points. And a good marketing scheme, scam, whatever you want to call it, is they'll say, well, I'm going to tell you about the things I don't like at the end of the video. Well, that's to get you to watch the whole video. And they tell you little things that you could have figured out just by looking at the picture. You know, like when you first charge these things up, they all have separate USB cables. So you got 3 units that you're charging separately. If you don't have that many units on your computer, then you're going to charge a few at a time. Now, I'm sure I haven't found it yet. I'm sure there's going to be a unit out there that I plug in all 3 USB cables, and then I got one USB cable that connects to my laptop or some battery source, and it will recharge them all. I'm sure that'll come by some Chinese supplier. But in the meantime, you got 3 USB-B cables to charge from, but you can charge for 7 hours, it runs for, something like that. So that's pretty cool. I mean, really, if you're going camping and you're not going to record 7 hours and then do it again. I mean, most of the time you record like maybe 20 minutes or so, and then you could actually start charging your stuff up to get ready in a couple hours later if you make something else. For a regular vlogger or a guy like me, it works fine. You're making movies, it might not be enough. You might need 2 sets just to fulfill it. So, now there's all kinds of different configurations with this RØDE 2. I mean, you can connect it to your computer, you can connect it to your cell phone. I believe you need to buy a separate cable for that. But you can literally record with anything at all. I could record this to a boom mic overhead if I wanted to, with a pole. Hook up a boom mic to it, and now it's all wireless. I'm not running wires a mile. I mean, this thing has a lot of versatility, if it don't break. Because like I said, RØDE didn't get back to me. I'm still waiting on the email. And I'm like, what, you guys didn't see it? Didn't read it? What? And it's apparently made in Australia. It's not even a China product. But when it comes to electronics, we have to understand that electronics are a hit and miss. Electronics do break. Anything from laptops, computers, wireless mics, take your pick. So it's possible something can get damaged in between transit. And usually when you get electronics, if it doesn't break within the first week, chances are it never breaks. Is what happens. Like, for example, I have dual video cards in my computer. One video card had actually fried. These are $1,000 video cards. So my warranty was gone on them. I have no choice but to buy another one. It's not the company's fault. The computer is, 5 years old. It's a little bit of age to it. And the new video card, if I still want to run dual, is another $1,000. So I could hook up my dual operation. And how did that happen? Who knows? It could have been a power surge. Our power company in this area where I live really, really sucks. We've lost everything from microwaves to other computers. I mean, I've had entire computers get fried because of this area. Because we get power surges constantly. It doesn't even matter if I get battery backups. It's ridiculous what goes on here. So just the way it is. Just something else you got to deal with. But this video is going on 13 minutes. So I'm really curious on what this sounds like on my R6 with the air conditioning going. And I wonder if I'm just going to use this all the time. Now, when I drop this into my editor, I'm not going to do anything to the voice. I'm not going to raise it. I'm not going to lower it. This is straight out of camera. So we're going to see how it sounds. And I'm hoping straight out of camera, I'm hoping it sounds good enough. Because when you're going to start playing with more things from editing video to editing your sound, it's just more things that take up time. And it's tedious. Every little thing that takes up time. When I look at something I buy anymore, it's like, oh God, I got to spend 10 minutes editing that part. And 10 minutes don't sound like much, but when you're doing 50 other things, it can turn into a couple hours pretty quick. And for the little bit of money YouTube pays you, it really is not worth the time. So you're trying to gather that advantage of where the video looks good, and you're trying to get it where the sound sounds decent, and everything just kind of comes together with a nice balance. Too much light looks like hell. Sound's not right, people ain't going to watch it. I mean, it really does take the right combination. And when people say, oh, it's not the equipment, it's the content. I agree a little bit about that. I mean, if you got amazing content, but you need good video and you need good sound, decent, and then you're off and running. I'm afraid that costs money. That's just the way it is. So here's the RØDE 2. 6 weeks to get in. Still can't believe it. And We'll see how this sounds straight out of camera. A little different. A lot of people give you all the specs. You can look at the specs online. You can watch videos where guys have walked 100 miles. I mean, that's not what I'm using it for. Mine is pretty much being used pretty close, not very far away. So I'm really not looking at distance. And I've got the video, well, the main transmitter hid behind my shirt, by the way. It's not even out in the open. My microphone's out in the open. But the thing that connects to you is actually under my shirt. Okay, here's a quick video about the RØDE 2, how it sounds, and my experience with getting it mailed here, and my experience with RØDE. Like I said, I'm not impressed with their customer service. So, anyhow, catch you guys on the next one.